What if I told you the richest man who ever lived was not a tech billionaire, not a king of Europe, but an African emperor from the 1300s? A man so wealthy that when he traveled, entire economies collapsed. A ruler whose name forced the world to redraw its maps. This is the story of Mansa Musa, the richest man in recorded history, and one of the most misunderstood leaders of all time. This is not legend. This is history. Mansa Musa was the ruler of the Mali Empire in West Africa during the 14th century. At its peak, the Mali Empire controlled vast lands rich in gold, salt, and trade routes that connected Africa to Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Gold was the backbone of the global economy at the time, and Mali controlled more than half of the world's supply. So when Musa became emperor, he didn't just inherit a throne. He inherited global power. While much of Europe struggled with poverty, disease, and war, Mali thrived. Its cities were organized. Its markets were wealthy. Its scholars were respected. This was an Africa the world rarely talks about. An Africa of systems, education, and international trade. In the year 1324, Mansa Musa decided to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. But Musa did not travel like an ordinary king. He traveled with over 60,000 people, soldiers, servants, officials, and camels loaded with pure gold. As his caravan moved through North Africa and into Cairo, he gave gold freely to the poor, to traders, to scholars. So much gold flooded the markets that its value dropped dramatically. The economy of Cairo was damaged for years. Let that sink in. One man affected an entire region's economy simply by being generous. That is not wealth. That is influence. But Mansa Musa's greatness was not in gold alone. When he returned from Mecca, he brought back architects, scholars, and teachers. He invested heavily in education and learning. Under his rule, Timbuktu became one of the greatest centers of knowledge in the world. The Sankore University housed thousands of manuscripts on science, law, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy. At a time when many believed Africa had no written history, libraries in Timbuktu were preserving human knowledge. News of Mansa Musa spread across Europe and the Middle East. For the first time, African rulers appeared on European maps. In the famous Catalan Atlas, Mansa Musa is drawn holding a gold nugget, symbolizing wealth beyond imagination. Africa was no longer invisible. The world was paying attention. Mansa Musa teaches us something powerful. True wealth is not just what you own, but what you build. He used wealth to educate. He used power to elevate others. He used influence to shape history. And centuries later, his name still echoes. Mansa Musa's story reminds us that Africa's greatness did not begin yesterday. It has always been here, hidden, ignored, but never erased. If this story changed the way you see history, support this channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Because these are the stories they never taught us.